Welcome to Julie Whitney Scott Presents Let's Talk Theater, a Mind for God production sponsored event, heard only on WGRN LP 94.1, the Green Renaissance Station. Let's Talk Theater. Today is another one of my favorite days on Let's Talk Theater. I have one of our young people, one of our brilliant young actress, singer, dancer, one of the people that I have watched grow up from a teenager, little girl, all the way up to now she's in college and just out there taking chances and risks and doing some things. So I want to welcome Miss Young, Olivia Noel, to Julie Whitney Scott Presents Let's Talk Theater. How are you, Olivia?
I'm doing great. How about you?
I'm hanging in here, girl. Let's talk about you. I think that it is so great that you have decided to pursue a career in theater. And the reason I think that's so great is because you're very good. You're very talented. And you have a very supportive mother that helps you and supports you. And you are an example to any young person out here that has a dream in Central Ohio and wants to get out and do something. So talk to us first. When I first met you, of course, you were in Annie and with the State of the Arts Productions, and I was behind the scenes doing my little thing like I like to do. And I watched you just blossom on the stage. But tell us a little bit, the audience, about you. How did you start off wanting to be on the stage?
So, my very first production was actually Annie. It was Annie Jr., and that was back when I was in fifth grade. I had never done theater, but I wanted to sing. I loved to sing. I would be playing soccer, and I'd be dancing and singing in the goalie place. So that's kind of where we found that love. And I auditioned for Annie, and I played the star to be, and I got on stage, and that feeling was indescribable. And from then on, I knew I had no doubts about what I wanted to do.
So in doing that, did you find that, because you said did I hear you say you was playing soccer?
Yes.
Were you able to do both? Did you decide, okay, well, I just want to act and I'm not going to do my sports anymore? Or did you find a way to be able to do everything you liked?
So it was really trial and error for me. I tried soccer, I tried karate, I tried softball. I was not gifted in those areas. So it was kind of easy to move on and try the next thing. And then I got to acting and singing, and I actually did thrive. And that's what I chose. So I didn't go back to the sports. My heart wasn't in it.
Mhm. How much did your mother have in helping you decide that? I remember my oldest daughter is creative too, and she was like you. She was trying every little thing, and she started just putting money on her, and then next thing you know, I don't want to do that no more. And it's like, huh? Okay. So then you go through something else, and it's like, I don't want to do that anymore. And I know that it can be trying on that, and how difficult that can be. But I also know how important it is
Oh, yeah.
for the development of the child. Talk a little bit about that.
It was probably the best thing that could have happened because I was such an indecisive kid. I didn't know what I wanted to do. My brain was bouncing everywhere. I had so many ideas about what I could be. Maybe I want to be a ballerina. Maybe I want to be a soccer player. Maybe I want to be a singer. What kind of singer? I don't know. Let's try all of them. And that actually shaped me into who I am right now because I feel like I just want to do everything. I'm so open to everything, film, TV, Broadway, opera, pop, just everything. And that foundation in being able to try so many different things has helped me along the way as I'm growing into this young adult.
Mhm. So you're in college now, right?
Yes.
Okay. Talk to us about that experience because you left home.
Yes.
Talk to about that.
It was a slap in the face moving to New York. I have always wanted to go to New York, but I didn't know what it was going to be like when I got there and what it was going to be like walking in the streets and walking 20 blocks to school and going to 3 dance classes a day, walking home from Lincoln Center at 11 p.m. with my friends, like walking home. It was a big lifestyle change and it was very fast paced and class was fast paced and I was expected to learn things really, really fast and pick up on things really, really fast. And I will say, in the beginning, I had a really, really hard time adjusting to that because it
Mhm.
was so, like I said, so fast. But then once I got the hang of it, I got the hang of it.
And which what school are you at?
American Musical and Dramatic Academy, and I major in the performing arts.
Mhm. How difficult, or has it been difficult, for you in meeting new friends and bonding? Because I'm sure at this school there are people from all over, not just in America. Probably there might be people from out of this country
Yeah.
that are there. How or was it intimidating to you coming from, here Central Ohio, in a little bubble, maybe, you go to your school, you just got your certain friends, and these people, I know these people, we grew up together, and all that. And now you're in New York, one of the melting pots
Yes.
states in America. How was that, Olivia?
It was amazing because I don't think I ever felt like I belonged anywhere else in this group of these accepting people who love the arts and being surrounded by these crazy talented people. At first, I thought, I was like, this is going to be really intimidating, but it wasn't because of how encouraging we were to one another, how we were just there for each other. And I think what made it easiest to bond with everybody was we were all in that same position. We're all coming here from different places to do this one thing that we love. And sharing that was amazing.
Hmm. I think that's the key too, because a lot of times I believe that uh, young people won't risk and leave the nest uh, to go another place,
Yeah.
especially like a place like New York, where you've seen all these things on TV. Everybody gets mugged, everybody gets raped. You can't,
Right.
you can't park. There's nowhere to run, and it's intimidating. Okay, to do that. But New York is where Broadway is. New York is if you're going to try to get some stage stuff and want to make a career in it, at some point you have to get there,
Right.
to make it on the stage. Because if you make Broadway, hey, I guess you made it. Whether
Right.
it's off Broadway or on Broadway, by Broadway, you're you're at Broadway.
Yes.
So talk to us about some of the things that you've done in theater that you have found the most rewarding.
That moment when you know that you have connected with somebody, that moment you know that somebody in the audience felt something. Maybe it helped them through their day. Maybe they're crying. Maybe they needed to let it out. That feeling of knowing that we've moved together, we've shared this moment that's been created, that's my favorite part.
Wow, I don't think I've ever heard anybody actually say that. And as you were saying it, you are so right. That is one of those moments when people come up to you afterwards, and they're still emotionally impacted
Yeah.
by what you've done. Uh, what's your favorite character?
My favorite character is Eliza Doolittle in My Fair Lady.
Ah, why?
Because she has a character arc. And I know everyone has a character. But
No, it's found on that. That is very yeah.
right.
Explain what you mean by that.
So she begins as this person, and she continually, throughout the entire show, grows in her strength and grows in her knowledge of who she is. And she knows that her worth, it was the same as it was from the very beginning. And there were so many people that made her think that that wasn't the case. But she has grown into this strong woman who isn't going to let anybody bring her down.
Is that you, Olivia?
Yes. We share that. We're friends.
Yes. And she's not a static character. I like characters like that also. Because there are characters that are just stable to that whole, there's no growth, and that's who they're supposed to be.
Yeah.
We know people in life like that.
Mm-hmm.
That are just hey, I'm here. But then you also have those people that are and those are the roles that are really challenging, at least for me.
Yes.
Because you have to be able to go up and down and move emotionally. What was your least favorite? I mean, which one, if you had to choose, I don't ever want to do that again?
Okay, this was a growing experience for me. So I would not like to do it again, but if I had to, I would for the experience. In my sophomore year of high school, I played a role called Valentine Doll in Mary Poppins. And I had to create this creepy doll-like person that's supposed to scare the children. And I would go to bed and I'm like, I'm having nightmares over here. But and it was hard because my costume was crazy. I had to wear these hips. But looking back, I'm glad that I had to wear a crazy costume because Broadway is full of crazy costumes and I would do it again. I wouldn't love to do it again, but I would.
As you said, it was a learning experience.
Oh, yeah.
And that's part of acting too. Being able to come something else that's not human.
No.
Can you do that? Can you be a rock? Yes. Can you
exactly.
Can you be a tree? So it was one of those. Can you be an ugly doll that scares babies that you love?
Yep. Opened my range for sure. My acting range.
Right now, because of COVID, it just put into your college life. How are you? And you were right there in New York, mm-hmm. which was hit hard. How did that work? I bet your mom was a nervous wreck.
Oh, yeah. So everything was smooth. We were performing our finals. We were singing our songs, and we get this email before I walk to ballet class, and it says, hey, you guys have to evacuate as soon as possible, or you'll be quarantined here. So of course I'm like, whoa, I'm having anxiety. I'm like, what do I do? Like, I have to leave now. And my mom's, thank goodness, only 2 hours away. Because some people did get stuck there for a decent amount of time. And I was gone 2 days later, and I left my stuff there. I grabbed what I could. It was really quick. And I transitioned into online, and they said, we're going to be back in 2 weeks. But of course we weren't. And things got even more intense. And before I left, like the day before I left, I walked through all of those streets that have the Broadway theaters. It was the quietest and darkest thing I've ever seen. It was crazy. And it's like you're seeing what you want to do completely not there for a second, almost like it never existed. It was like a ghost town, and it felt post-apocalyptic. Like that's exactly what it felt like. Even driving out of the city, it was completely quiet, and I was not prepared for that at all. Emotionally, mentally, none of it.
Yeah, I mean, the couple of times I've been to New York, it's such a bustling, busy, place. And I can imagine, like you said, all of a sudden you like, what's going on here? You think you're in a movie,
Yes.
it's some kind of horror flick or something. So, Olivia, so right now you're doing your studies online, but I'm sure that that's such a big letdown because there's no class. I mean, give us a little example. I mean, how can you do acting classes? I mean, I've taught them, but good gracious, it's so much different me trying to teach you an acting class on Zoom,
Right.
or whatever, versus being in the actual room with other
Yeah.
students. How are you guys doing that? Are you even like dance and like you said, ballet class? Are you even having those type of things now? What is happening with the education of our young people now that they have to go online?
So for me, I decided the pandemic actually brought me to the decision to come to LA for the LA campus and finish my bachelor's degree for the performing arts, which initially I didn't know if I was going to do because I didn't know what would happen, but this is what happened. So I was like, I need to keep going and go for this right now while I can. Um, it's been a really difficult transition because you do come from you're standing in the room, you're talking to the teacher, they're touching your shoulder, telling you to move this way, like even in dance, like it's so hands-on. And that feeling of being in the room too, it's not there. Which is hard, but like there's still of course a connection with my classmates and I and my teachers, and we're still learning and growing together, just not in the same way and at the same level. We for dance, I do have a tap class next semester. I don't exactly know how that's going to work. That might mean, hey, we're going to do a video, you're going to record it, we're going to send it in, and we're going to give you feedback, because that is what happened with me for third semester. And it worked, but I'm somebody who, if I'm in a dance class, it's so much easier to be there in the room so they can give you the best feedback there is, and they can see you. And sometimes on the Zoom, you can only see your feet, and it's like it's kind of like a halfway. It's different and it's not as intense. That's the other thing. The online life is not as intense. It's more like, okay, even like for acting classes. For now, I'm taking a film acting class because LA is on the film side. So what we do is each week he gives us a video prompt and we self-tape ourselves whatever that video prompt is. This week it was ASMR. Last week it was bring a character that you like and perform it as you are yourself. So that's been pretty cool. But something my teacher told me was, if you guys were here in person, the class would be completely different. Completely. Yes, yes.
You got a brother who's an actor.
I do. I do.
Talk to me a little bit. Talk to us about having a sibling, a brother who's also an actor, and just as involved in theater as you are. How is that?
It's funny when you put two very, very similar people in a room together. And that's my brother and I. We think the same. We have those same like personality traits. And, sometimes it makes us butt heads, but, that's siblings. And he is just he's in a point where he's like, I don't know what I really want to do. I like to act, but I don't know really what I want to do. And he's still deciding. And he's doing that same exact thing that I did, where he's okay. This is so funny. Last night he goes, Mom, I would like to try soccer. And I was like, wow, that's how it starts. You're going to be an actor. No, but you know what I mean? Not that he has to do that, but if he chooses, it's definitely fun to have somebody who loves it like you do.
What do you want to talk about?
Oh, so over this pandemic, I have been longing for the arts, of course, as so many of my fellow theater lovers are. And I came across an audition for a virtual musical where you film from your home, and over the course of a few months, we create it. It's called A Killer Party, and it's being presented by the Millennial Theater Company. They are based in Youngstown, Ohio, I think, but since it's virtual, I got into the musical, so yes. And since it's virtual, we have people all over the world in it. So we have somebody from Hawaii, somebody from New York, somebody from Chicago, and so many places in Ohio. And it has been so cool now I haven't seen it yet because we're still working on it. I'll be done filming in about 3 weeks for my scenes. So I'm going to get to see it come together. It begins streaming in April. So yeah, it's just been really soul filling, and it's been really nice to be able, even though it's over Zoom, to like connect with people and do what we love.
Well, I'm really happy to hear that you're still able to do, something else that you want to do too,
Mm-hmm.
outside of school, and so that you can continue to be creative. And it's really cool. I like that piece too about the Zoom, because we are able to connect with people that you normally don't get a chance to, because hey, you live in your own states, and if COVID wasn't here, you would be doing something there.
Right.
Some kind of production there, here. So now we have no choice. It's like, well, let's just connect. And I like that piece.
Me too.
So I'm looking forward to that. You make sure I know about when that's going to be, so
I
I
will.
can look at that. And what's it called? What's it called again?
A Killer Party musical.
Achilles. Ooh,
A
ooh, that is,
musical.
yeah. Do we get to see you, Olivia, sing in it?
Yes. Yes.
Dance?
Um, a little bit. A little bit.
A little bit? Okay. Then
I know
I know it's gonna be great then. So right now, you are in your third, is it the second year now, right?
Yeah.
Is this going into your second year?
Yes, into my second year, and by
Yeah.
February 12th of next year, I'm going to be graduated.
Wow, isn't that wonderful?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then on to the next, whatever you're going to do. What's your plans after that?
So, in my head has been spinning around the idea of teaching musical theater and teaching theater or drama or whatever. And that, because I've seen my teachers do it, and I'm like, wow, that is so cool. This is something that I would love just as much as performing. Of course, I still want to perform and audition for Broadway when it reopens, but that's another route I'd love to take, especially in a time like this where I have time to get online, go to another online college, get a teaching certificate. And yeah.
Yeah. I like that you are being very smart in using this time, to do those type of things.
Yes.
So, and I'm hoping other youth are like you, are taking advantage of that and don't waste this, this valuable time that's kind of forced on them. You hear, you might as well go on and do it. Let's just get it over with, because then once, like you said, once everything opens up, then bam, you out there, you ready. You already got your papers, degrees. I can go try to teach an audition over here, and just have that back, because we know you need that backdrop. You need an income.
Oh, I can't imagine just like going off of, especially because I'm beginning, I can't imagine going off of just going and only auditioning, which is fun and great, but I loved the idea of having a solid, like you said, solid backdrop.
Yeah. Some financial stability,
Mhm.
to keep you, especially I always say this, especially the young ladies and even men now, boys now, but you want to do that because you'll find yourself, if you don't want to find yourself in being put in situations where you might have to make some decisions on something you wouldn't want to do
Right.
to pay your rent.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? Those type of things.
Yeah.
So when you have that behind you, you can keep your integrity and all that good stuff and keep moving.
Right.
While you're waiting
Yes.
for the
Yes.
right opportunity to come your way. Well, I have so enjoyed this, Olivia. Before we leave, I think that it would be, appropriate, and we must have a word of encouragement from you, Olivia, to the young people out there right now who are like stuck like you. We
Yeah.
started out at school and now here we are. What kind of encouragement do you have for them to get them through?
I would say I know that right now everything feels like it's at a standstill. And as much as it feels like it's not going to start up again, it is. And when we come back, man, that is going to be more powerful than ever. And it's going to feel so good and it's going to feel so worth it. So if you're sitting here and you're questioning, do I still do theater? Do I continue with what I want to do? Yes, because stopping right now, it's going to be so worth it.
Well, all right. Thank you so much, Olivia, for spending some time with me today on Let's Talk Theater. It's great to see you. And I know, like I said before we started this show, that one day I'll be sitting there in the audience watching you get that Tony, that Oscar, because you have a really bright future. You're very talented and you're very smart.
Thank you.
So keep up the good work. And I'll be checking you out. And what's the name of that play? That musical? Yeah, I'll be checking you out in April. Bye, Olivia.
Bye.